A legal victory for the Arizona rancher accused of using an AK-47 to gun down a migrant on his property. Today, first-degree murder charges lowered to second-degree and aggravated assault. 74-year-old George Allen Kelly was released on a $1 million bond after the judge allowed him to put up his ranch as collateral. Kelly speaking with NewsNation correspondent Allie Bradley while heading back into the Arizona courtroom. And Allie joins us live. Tell us what he told you.
Yeah, hi, Nicole. So he actually showed up here for that evidentiary hearing this morning alone. I asked him where his wife Wanda was. He said that she would not be coming and attending today's evidentiary hearing. Now, I did walk with him and talked with him a little bit. And again, you mentioned he's a 74-year-old rancher here in Nogales, Arizona. His ranch in Keno Springs is where the incident in question happened. And when we were walking and talking, he mostly stuck to no comment. We know that there are these other witnesses that are coming forward. They're talking about more witnesses.
I don't expect or not expect anything.
Okay.
What happens, happens.
Okay. And are you? So now Kelly has maintained that he shot in the direction of the individuals that were on his property. But Nicole, he maintains that he shot above them. He says that he shot 150 yards above their heads, and there's no way that he actually could have hit any of them.
All right. So, Allie, there were witnesses or alleged witnesses to this, one of them coming forward and testifying today. What did he have to say?
Yeah, so one of those alleged witnesses, one of two, because those are those assault charges that came late kind of in this hearing situation. Now, this witness that came forward came into the courtroom. We had to turn our video off, so it was audio only, but he came in with his hoodie on over his head. He had one of those face masks covering his nose and his mouth, and he started kind of talking about the experience that he really saw there that played out. And he told the state that he had actually crossed 6 or 7 times prior to this incident on January 30th. Now, he said that he was apprehended by Border Patrol each and every time, and he even served time in custody for illegal reentry. Now, he did describe the day that he says he ran for his life, as he claims shots were being fired by who he says was George Allen Kelly. Now, he claims that he was only one step behind the victim here, Gabriel Cuen Butamea. He was the Mexican man that was killed on Kelly's ranch. Take a listen.
Gabriel que me dijo, me dieron.
And I saw Gabriel, he held his chest and he said, I'm hit, and he fell down, rolled his eyes, and then I looked around and I saw that they were shooting at the horse.
So he was identified as DRR, and he says that he knew he couldn't help Cuen Butamea. And so he said he was still being shot at, so he continued to run. He says that there were 7 of them in the group on the ranch at the time. And he says Cuen Butamea was wearing all tan clothing, his shirt, his pants, and his boots. And then he was wearing green camouflage backpack and a waist bag as well, Nicole. Now, what was really interesting here is DRR also said that the first contact that he really made when it came to this case was at the sheriff, the Santa Cruz County Sheriff over here, and a detective actually went over to Nogales, Sonora on the Mexico side to conduct an interview that was actually set up by Cuen Butamea's daughters. So that's a really interesting piece here. And at first he had denied that he had any contact with anyone about this case until George Allen Kelly's lawyer brought up that meeting with the sheriff.
All right, yeah, intricate story here. Okay, Allie Bradley, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.